Hello and welcome back to Starsector. In the last episode we had a bit of a crash course introduction to a whole bunch of the game, different mechanics and some combat. So apologies if I glossed over anything too quickly. If you do have any questions about the way things work, like flux, venting, combat, ammunition, missiles, etc., that I haven't covered in enough detail, please do leave a comment below and I'll try and answer your question, either in a reply comment or separately in a video at a later stage. For now, where I left us off last time, we had just arrived back at Jangala Station, both to sell the bits that we acquired from the pirate remains previously, but also to refit our ship and try and repair some of the damage. Well, not so much damage, but the lowered combat readiness we had. Doing so at a dockyard takes the same amount of supplies that it would take you to do it just drifting around in space. It just saves you time, so there's pretty much no reason not to do it that I found yet. I suppose if you know you're going to run out of supplies and don't have enough money, but you could get somewhere that supplies are cheaper, it might be worthwhile holding off and just flying somewhere manually, but I haven't yet run into that situation. So just repair myself up as much as possible, and then we'll go look at the trading screen here. Now, we pulled this up very briefly in the last episode just to show our cargo capacity, but there's far more to this screen than that. We have a whole bunch of information about the current market conditions. If you hover over each of them, it gives you some clue as to what's driving things. The two on the left here are bounty events / trade disruption event, kind of like current events, I suppose. And the rest is fairly static. You can click market information in the top left and find out what this place imports, exports, and other things nearby. So, for example, we generate too many supplies, but there's a bit of trade disruption going on. They export lots of crew, excess are being exported, and you can see areas that would import them in other star systems. I don't find this screen as useful as the Intel screen showing prices down here, because you can click around and see what the actual prices are for different items in different areas, and green generally means it's a low price, and red typically means that's not red, where's red? There we go. Red typically means it's a high price. So you could conceivably set up a trade run going from Glasnir here in the Valhalla system to the Ragnar complex, also in the Valhalla system, and that would probably work for a little while until the market conditions adjusted, which they would as you take excess supply from one area and fulfill surplus demand in another. So back to the trade screen, we picked up some heavy machinery and some metals in salvage. We may as well sell those, but what we have here is there's a 30% tariff, and that's in both directions of a trade. So if you're buying something, you're paying 30% one way to the owner of the station, and selling it somewhere else, you're paying another 30%. You might gather that trade is not incredibly profitable unless you can really deal in huge amounts of bulk, and the game is designed like this. Trading is supposed to be kind of like fringe beneficial. As a small trader, you're really not going to be able to get much out of anything, because all of the larger, more established traders already have huge economies of scale going on, and they've got the market cornered. But you can always, if I bought that, go to the black market instead, where you pay no tariff. But the downside is you destabilize the market, which is bad for a multitude of reasons. Increases pirate activity, increases military presence in the area as they try and find out who the smugglers are and that sort of stuff. But it's good because you get more money. There are pros and cons to each. Black market often has different things available. Through that phase lance we were playing with last episode was from the black market rather than the open market. Yeah, I mean, you can see the weapon selection changes, and there's also a military market, although that requires you to be friendly with whoever actually owns the station. And the military market's not always available. I think some pirate bases, some independents, and things like that don't have it. So yeah, for the sake of something so small, we're just going to sell these things on the open market and pay our taxes like a good person. If we had arrived at this station with our transponder off, it might be more beneficial to use the black market, because the chances of us being detected and found out about are fairly low anyway. But even if we were, them identifying us after the fact would be also very low. It's a really reduced chance of there being any negative impact for our reputation with the station owners. So yeah, that could have been an option, but because it's hegemony space, we're running transponder on, because we really don't want to fight them. So let's we've sold those. I'll just have a quick look through these, see if there's anything new available. Doesn't look like it. Those phase lances were a bit disappointing. Yeah, nothing worth noting. So we'll buy ourselves some more supplies to make up for those that we just used, bringing our ship and readiness back up to its maximum. So if you just hold shift, you can then drag left and right, and or alternatively you can hold shift and just click repeatedly. So I'm going to buy 7, get us back up to 20. We did get 2 fuel from the salvage earlier, but fuel's quite useful for nipping between hyperspace, so we'll actually hold on to that for the moment. If I just confirm that, we are currently almost 2,000 credits up on the start of the game. Go us! Yay! Have a quick look at the intel, see if there's any new... oh yes, these are payments we received for our fighting. But this bounty is still going for another 38 days, so I think we should carry on looking for some more pirates to, well, try and dogpile with the other hegemony ships in the area. I say other, we're not actually part of the hegemony, although they are starting to like us a little bit. So let's head back up into pirate space. And if I can get near one of these again, actually this will do. This here is the detection range of something in this direction. Probably this giant patrol here. We don't know who they are just from the arcs, but we can make a fairly educated guess. So these guys seem to be pursuing a pirate scout. I think it's this one. So if we kind of loiter around these asteroid belts, we might be able to join in on the fun. Ah, maybe it's these ones. Okay. Right. So yes, this neutral patrol, they're actually independent forces. We're neutral with them, and we're hostile with the pirates, so they've decided that we're friendly enough that we can join in and help. They're going up against a kite shuttle and a lasher, which is probably both just behind the the overlay here, you can see the two pirate forces. They're probably both joining in the same way that the hegemony joined in with ours in the last episode. Let's okay, so we tried to join in the battle, but it looks like the independent forces who were chasing the pirates don't actually care enough to fight. So all that's happened is the well, nothing actually. Reading this, we didn't end up engaging, so the pirates don't dislike us anymore, but also the independents don't like us because we didn't really get to help. Let's see if we can engage. Okay, so this is actually the other one. So they've got a destroyer class ship. That's quite scary. They have a standard combat freighter, although it's D class. Actually, this is a D class destroyer. It's still scary, but it's not as scary. And a hound. Let's try and pursue them. Okay, so we're actually going into a fight. And fingers crossed that those independents will join us. Okay, so let's deploy our ship and see what we've got. That's the Cerberus combat freighter, and that's the Hound combat freighter. I think the Hound is probably slightly scarier, so we will probably go up against that first. Ah, good, here they come. Whoosh. Big fleet behind. Did I actually? No, I didn't. Okay, you press R to target something, by the way. We want to stay away from that. That's the scary one. I mean, it would be really good if we could... Come on, missiles, don't go after the other one. Go after this one. Alright, dogpile everyone. Nice. If you are too close to a ship exploding, you take damage from it. You would think that would be fairly obvious, but the number of times that I've gotten pretty much like right up against something, just wailing on it, and then lost my ship in the resulting explosion, I should be ashamed of the number of times that's happened, actually. Let's see if we can catch up with some of these other pirates. They're trying to flee. See if we can cause their engines to burn out. Nice. That was pretty much all us. And I think that's it for the pirates. Yes. Excellent. So we did quite a lot of work there, so we get 121 credits from the CPU cores, but also Jangala will pay us a bounty as they did last time, because that is still going on. Some supplies, always valuable, and some more heavy machinery and metals. Good work, thank you very much, Independence, for the assist. What we might do is... Ooh. There's a fleet with its transponder off pursuing my fleet. I am going to hover near these independents because they are kind of like a nice little safety blanket for me at the moment, actually. Hey guys, I'm just staying near you because you'll help me if there's a fight, probably. Okay, right. What I'm going to do now is turn off my transponder, whoosh, and so my detection range drops off. I'm going to visit this hidden pirate base. With my transponder off, factions can't identify me as easily, which means that some factions which would typically be hostile to me, such as the pirates, don't mind at all that I've docked in their secret base, not so secret hidden base actually, it's the worst hidden base, and using their facilities. There's nothing actually on the postings board. Okay. There is a mercenary officer, but there's no need. Okay. But the downside is they have seen me doing lots of negative things around here, so they're not actually going to talk to me. So, by the look of it, I've got to take at least a month until the commotion in the area dies down. That is a real shame. Okay, let's leave and go somewhere else then. We should probably go and catch back up with those independents if we can. And you see they're doing things like emergency burns to catch other people. If we engage this lot, this pirate convoy, the neutrals are close enough that they should be able to engage as well. Ooh, unless they can dodge away from us really quickly. No, they are not. Let's move away. Attempt to disengage. Damn it, they are pursuing our forces. So, what we have now is a chance to retreat, which basically means flee, flee up the screen as fast as possible. And they'll do things like come in from the sides. They've got the same deploy options, so they could well try and cut us off. While you have no flux on the left side, you see my status indicators. You receive a slight bonus to your top speed. That can make a huge amount of difference. What I'm going to do is wait until I've got 3 phase skims available and then go zip zip zip. Because you see we have a wolf here trying to close in on me, and that mining blaster is got the potential to cause a lot of damage to me. 3. Let's put some nice distance between us. Turn slightly away from the nebula, because that slows you down. And then retreat. Whoosh! Phew. So we were able to disengage, which is good. Let's try and move back to the neutrals. Come here! You're our safety blanket! Actually, probably should have put on our IFF transponders. That could well be why the neutrals didn't engage. Alright. As you get closer to planets, you get there's terrain in space is what it boils down to. The magnetic field around this particular planet reduces both sensor ranges and also maximum speed. Okay, I think we can take this. I think this is actually one that was pursuing us earlier. Let's pursue them instead. There. We could probably catch up if we just come straight in from the bottom. So let's do that. Let's target them so we can see them a little easier. Make sure we don't get the wrong direction. Hello. Would you like a fight? Easy. Although I did manage to overload myself right at the end there. Not that it really mattered. One credit because there's so many allies. Hey, we get a supply and another bit of fuel. And of course we'll get some bounty from it. Running low on supplies. Okay, we should probably head back to Jangala and pick some more up. Although we can beat up this guy again. Actually, this is a different one. You can sort of tell from the. I was trying to show the captain in the top right corner of the icon there. Some ships have captains, some do not. Actually, let's let them go. I have no need to fight them at this stage, and the decrease in combat readiness we would have is not worth it. Just kicking up our emergency burn. Interesting. Now, can we take 2 wolves at the same time? We might be able to. We do have better crew than them, and they are D-class wolves. The only tricky thing will be if they manage to flank us, which they certainly have the potential to do. Let's see what we can do. I suppose first of all we have to find them. There they are. They're both straight ahead. And of course they're both phase skimmers. Nice. So while he decided to vent, I launched my missiles because his shields were down. Now I'm very close to being overloaded, so I've just retreated quite a lot. Unfortunately this will be another few seconds, and then I'm going to active vent, get rid of my flux build-up. And the AI is really smart. They will press any advantage they can get. Like, if you're active venting, they will fire their missiles, they will try and flank you. They will use their phase skimmers to try and sneak in behind you, like I'm about to do actually. Except I did that really badly. Oh no. So I've taken quite a lot of front damage there. Shield back up. I think my front damage, sorry, my front weapon might actually be damaged. might be the time for me to retreat. Oh no, here it is. Phew. Those Annihilator missiles that he has are really quite annoying. Let's back up a little and try and vent if I can. Okay. And he's taking the opportunity as well. Gonna try and use my range to a slight advantage and my slightly improved flux handling of my captain. And we're going to reach a point in about another minute if this keeps going, where combat is degrading our combat effectiveness because of the length of the engagement. I think he's got like an ion cannon. Actually, I should have targeted him. Help. Then my I'll be able to see what he's actually equipped with. So yes, he's got an ion cannon, which is what's causing me lots of flux. Yikes, that was the wrong time to vent. I should have just taken my shield down instead. So my weapon is still disabled. Just waiting for it to come back up. Come on. There we go. So as you can see, I'm not great at combat. This is often what happens, is I get a little flustered and then everything goes wrong. Okay, so that klaxon siren is what I was talking about for combat effectiveness. Finally! Oh my word, that was an awful fight. And after the first one went down so well. Okay, so I lost one crew, basically for being terrible at combat. But I did completely destroy these two guys by myself, so I get everything. I get that ion cannon, which is quite nice. I might actually use that myself. The Annihilator rocket launchers, that's pretty good. Okay, and the problem I've got now is that my cargo capacity is not sufficient to hold everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch some of the metals, which are not worth a huge amount. Let's get rid of 12 of those, just leave them here, and we'll ditch a little bit of fuel as well, because we don't really need quite as much. Actually, fuel doesn't appear to take any cargo space. Let's get rid of some more metals. Okay. And with that amount of experience, we've actually managed to advance to level 3. I think we advanced to level 2 perhaps earlier, and I didn't notice. It could have been last episode even. But with each level comes bonuses. Every even level you get an extra aptitude point, but every level you get 2 skill points. So level 2 I got an aptitude point and 2 skill points, and level 3 got me another 2 skill points. So I am going to increase my aptitude in combat, increase my speed, the damage that I do, reduce the amount of shield damage that I take, and I think I will also get some damage control as an option. Reduce the amount of hull and armor damage I take when I mess up. That's going to be very beneficial. Okay, let's continue back to Jangala. Get ourselves all repaired and healed up. Okay, that's going to take 9 supplies, that's fine. Let's sell the metals and heavy machinery again. and then let's have a look and see what's available to purchase. So if we go to refit, this pulse laser at the front is 303 damage per second. The ion cannon does 400 EMP damage, which is quite nice. I suppose I could put that instead of this front point defense laser. I'd need to free up a couple of ordnance points to do so though. These harpoons I quite like because they track, although I do have the 2 Annihilator rockets now. They don't do as much damage, but they do fire in a spread, which is harder to avoid, and it's quite useful for overloading point defense weapons, but I think I will keep them as they are. Let's have a look, see if there are any new ships to buy. Shuttles? No, thank you. Construction rig? That's interesting. I wonder if you can actually construct anything with it. Special system is a flare launcher. Hull mods repair gantry and civilian grade hull. That does not sound good. Also has no weapons spots by the look of it. Yes. Whereas at least like the shuttles can have guns. On the black market, ooh, that lasher is still available. Ooh, very interesting. 5 small ballistic points, and the special system is an accelerated ammo feeder, which means that the ballistic weapons fire faster and take less flux to fire. When all of your weapons are ballistic, or rather most of your weapons are ballistic, that's really quite strong. That's quite tempting, but I think I would rather have a little bit more money first before I went into that. I've not seen the Shepherd before. Drone based, interesting, and an Omni Shield. I'm not sure that's particularly practical for bounty hunting. The lasher could be, certainly. But for now, I think we just need to heal up and get back out there. So let's buy some more supplies again. We'll buy back up to 20. Actually, let's get up to about 25. So we need 17. We could sell a bit of fuel, actually. Nah, there is no point to selling fuel. You may as well just hold on to it. We do have some elite crew now, which is good. The extra combat readiness gives slight bonuses in combat. Not sure if I can see how to see that. I'll go to the fleet screen now, actually, have a look. Where is it? Yes, okay. So, more maneuverability, less damage taken, more damage dealt. Yeah, basically it's pretty good. Have a look, see if there's anything interesting in the comms directory. Can't fit them, definitely can't fit them. 10 units of rare ore to somewhere miles away, that's too far. 10 units of harvested organs to somewhere that's also too far away. Okay, so none of those are particularly useful. So let's head back out. If if 10 seconds is approximately 1 day in game, then in theory by the time we get out to this pirate base again, it might even be long enough that we can dock with them and see what's in their market. So let's move around, see where the base is. There it is. We just need to be a bit careful of this hegemony patrol. So if we go dark, Yes, we don't want to be seen by that pirate group either. Sneaky, sneaky. That's probably close enough. Okay. Nope, it's still too recent. Okay. Let's get out of it then. Ooh, what's that? Mercantile convoy. You know, I would still like to go and see the pirates, so we're just going to loiter around in space a little. You can hold shift while you're in space to speed up time, which is quite useful. March the 4th, is that long enough yet? Nope. I suppose it did only say it will take at least a month. March 7th. Nope. I haven't actually tried going to Barrett A before. Is there anything here? No. Well, at least not for the same reason. March 9th. March 10th. March 11th. Nope. Okay. Alright, let's go look for a fight. Okay, that pulse that came out of their hegemony patrol was an active sensor burst, so they've seen us with our transponder off and they could well come and have a look. So I'm actually going to leave here and try and flee back to Jungala. I think they probably found somewhere better to go, but there's no point in sticking around just yet. Jungala was off to the right. There we go. Alright, I think I'm going to call this episode here, docking back at Jungala. We did another spot of combat. We're still waiting, really, for the pirates to forget about the recent transgression, so we can go and have a word with them. Just really want to see what ships and ammo are available for purchase in their area. But we might get lucky next episode. We might get a chance to get around to doing that. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.